Sorry. Oh, God, dear, I tell you what, it's been all go today. It hasn't really been all go today, to be honest. But it's just a rush at the end. I'm annoyed I got here late. So the thing. Anyway, Jay. Sorry, I didn't even think. How are breast implants inserted? I've seen some under the nipple and some through the bottom of the breast. Is this a personal choice or where the implants are placed? Um, mm, Personal choice to a degree. To be honest with you, Jade, it's usually up to the surgeon, and there are different places the implants can be. Different incisions you can make. Good question, by the way, Jade. Came straight back with a very good question. Um, there's different places you can put the implants and places you can put them. So you have to make an incision somewhere. That's the first thing to say. You have to have a scar. And so the various places you can have the scar. First of all, inframammary fold, the fold where the bra sits, which I think what you're describing there is the bottom of the breast. That's the one that I use most often, to be honest. But that's number one. Number two, as you say, underneath the nipple, a U shape, infraareolar, it's called, a U shape incision where the areola is. Number three, armpit, transaxillary. And the other one that people talk about is the belly button, but the belly button is transumbilical breast augmentation tuber, but that's really just for saline implants because you put them in and blow them up when you're in there, which is we don't really use in this country. They use them in America. We don't really use them here. So the belly button, forget that one. So basically, it's breast fold, infraareolar, and armpit are the three, and there are good things and bad things about all of them. There are people out there doing all of them, or they're all being done. So it's not like one's best. So if someone says this is the best one, I'll be like, well, why does the guy down the road do the other one? So there's good and bad about all of them. Now, in this country, and me personally, I prefer the infra mammary, which is in the fold of the bra. I prefer that one, and most surgeons, I think, in this country do that one. But I prefer that one because it gives good access to the breast. It's easy to control this bit here, the cleavage area. You can see it quite easily. You don't really touch the breast too much, whether you're putting the implant in front of or behind the muscle. You're not really cutting through any breast tissue. Sorry, itchy nose. So I like that one, and the scar fades really well. It is quite obvious to start off with. The reason people don't like it is because there is a scar on the breast. There's no question about it. You lie on the beach or you lie in your arms up and go like that. There is a scar there, and that is why some people say, "Well, I don't want that scar there." I'll be like, "Fine, okay. Well, there are other ways you can do it without putting that scar there." So next, number two, infraareolar, the one you're talking about, below the nipple, U-shaped areolar incision. That heals brilliantly there, because it's healed on the interface between the brown of the areola and the sort of paler skin of the breast. It blends in really well and can be really, really hard to see. I use it all the time for gynecomastia, for men breast tissue removal. I don't really use it for in breast augmentation personally. Again, they tend to use it more in America. I don't know why the countries. I don't know if it's relevant. The countries that use it. It's just that they do. The reason I don't like it is because first of all, you have to cut through breast tissue in order to get to that plane underneath the breast. So it's a bit more traumatic because you're cutting through breast tissue. You are cutting the U below the nipple, so there's more risk of alteration of sensation of the nipple. And whilst it is a fantastic scar that fades beautifully, if it doesn't, and if you do get any problems with the scar's on the front. So as I say, it usually fades fine, but if it doesn't fade fine, you have any problems with the scar, it's right on the front of the breast, it's on your nipple. Whereas the one inframammary is sort of underneath your breast. Yeah, it's quite hard to see. So it's a bit, I would suggest that it's if there's a problem with the scar, it's a better place, and it does tend to settle well. The other place you can put the scar is the armpit. And again, there are people out there, again, on the continent, usually in Europe, people use the armpit incision. So again, I can't say it's a bad thing because lots of people use it, so they wouldn't use it, if it was a bad thing. And they get good results with it. Sorry, and that's fine. And the reason I don't personally use the armpit is it is quite far from the armpit to get here, to get to the cleavage area. And it's really important for me. It's really important to get a nice cleavage. That's really the point of the operation. And also, there's some quite big blood vessels here, so I worry about any bleeding in those blood vessels. It will be hard to control from the armpit. That's just me. People who use the armpit one will say to you, "Oh no, that's fine, I can do it, and look at these great results I've got. And the beauty of the armpit one is there's no scar on the breast, so I can totally understand why it's a favoured one. The problem is the scar is in the armpit, which is not a great place for a scar. It's a bit hot and sweaty. There's a risk of it not healing up very well, but you could argue it doesn't matter so much because it's hidden in the armpit. So that's where I am. I mainly use the inframammary scar for those reasons, but there are surgeons, and I would say is go for a surgeon who is good and has got experience in using the incision you want. Because I've had people come to me and want the transaxillary, want the armpit one, and I'd be like, well, that's not me, you know, going for someone who's not saying it's bad, but if I did it, I probably wouldn't do it very well because I've not done it very often. And so I've done loads of the ones with that one. So I'm much more familiar with it. So if you find a surgeon who's good at it, by all means. I know a couple of guys, but they're overseas who do it. But you know, if you find someone who's got good experience with it, then go with them, because as I say, there's nothing bad about it. It's just different strokes for different folks.